In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you so truly for this beautiful imagery that we have been able to participate in. I ask, O Lord, the words that you want to give to use your faithful children, so that all of us can be inspired to live our lives according in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. In the Bibles that we'd like to take out one that's in the pew rack, if you open to page 905, in the 14th chapter of the Gospel that was proclaimed by the Holy Evangelist St. Luke, the 18th verse reads, "But they all with one accord began to make excuses. ابتدأ الجميع برؤيا واحدا يزدحون in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen." Let me ask Jean, because Jean Bass is a school teacher, and she should know how to hear this question. Can you tell me what the word excuse means? Or it comes from the Latin, but more from the Old French, excuse. It really means in place of, in other words, you've done something, and you're asking to be forgiven, okay? You're asking to kind of go past that so that you can go on with your life. But the word excuse is to justify an action or a non-action. You say, what do you mean by a non-action? Well, I mean, give me an example. An action of speeding your car, that's an action. A non-action would be not stopping at the stop sign. You'll get a ticket for both, but the point is that one, you didn't do something, one, you did do something. So an excuse is to justify an action or non-action. More excuses sometimes we have than actions. Let me, I don't know, because everybody thanks God comes to church every Sunday. But I remember I said to whenever there are people that come regularly to church, for example, if Janet Bell would be going away for another month because her daughter's going to have a baby. So I would call after Janet's left, I would not call her and say, "Where were you?" Because I would call, I had calls, right? When you didn't come on a Friday, I called her, "What's going on?" So, point is that we have more excuses. Now, see, there's some of the excuses I get. Let me ask someone that's been around a while, Mary Moore. Can you imagine? Can you think of any excuse you think that I sometimes get from people? And I don't call them like, they have to clock in. I don't mean it that way. It's out of love. Because when people aren't here, I know they're not here and I miss them. Can you imagine some of the, ridiculous now. I'm not talking about, my car broke down and burst into a ball of fire and therefore I couldn't be there. Something ridiculous that people would give as an excuse of why they were not in church. Say, come closer.
We have to go to Disney World.
We have to go to Disney World. That man needs earphones. We have to go to Disney World. We have to go to the beach. We have people visiting us from out of town. We have to be there. We have to take them around. How many of you have ever had people visit you in the winter time, and they come down, they've already had you pick them up at the airport, you're already staying at your house. But how many of you had them say to you, "Can you take us to the parks?" Anybody? Yeah. Like you don't have a job, right? I've just been waiting for you to come down here so I can take you to the parks. I get excuses like, "Oh, Father, I got a flat tire." That's kind of a hard one to get one. But the other one, the dog was looking funny. Okay? Or we used to get this years ago when there was warfare going on in Lebanon. I didn't come because I was waiting for a call from Beirut because it's so hard to get through. Do you ever have that happen to someone? Somebody you're waiting for somebody to call you from the old country? And they know what happened? They usually don't call. Something happened, they don't call. So you're wasting your time staying on. So excuses, we have so many excuses. "Oh, Father, I had a person this week who didn't come to liturgy." I said, "We missed you." They said, "I slept in." That means you didn't go to bed on time. You stay up late at night, you're not going to get enough sleep, I guarantee you. Okay? Friday night, Saturday night, any night of the week, I'm aiming to be in that bed at 9 o'clock. Why? Because I get up at 5 o'clock. I need to have enough rest when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So if I stay up till 11 o'clock, I'm not going to get that problem on the press. So people, I slept in, I didn't get there, or how about when we change the time? I love when we change the time, okay? In the spring, we spring forward, right? We go an hour ahead. All right. So all the people that come at the wrong time is where they didn't set their clocks back. For me personally, I turn all my clocks back on Saturday afternoon so that I'm all set for it. Okay? But what I'm getting at is we have so many excuses. How many of those excuses does the Lord accept? Did you ask me that, son? How many? You say, well, Father, I get people guys, I can't go every Sunday. Why? I say, why? Now, if someone has a job and they have to work on Sunday, I understand that. I do understand that, okay? Personally speaking, no, I wasn't always a priest. I went to law school. I went for a job one time. I need to, have a little extra money. And I told the people, I don't work on Sunday. No, you have to work on Sunday. That's why you need to get somebody else. But they wanted me to have a job. They said, well, could we do anything? I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll work in the afternoon, but I'm not going to work in the morning. Our subdeacon, he's a school teacher. He has been offered a full-time job at the school. But he told them, I cannot work on Friday mornings, because Friday morning we have a liturgy in Midland. So if you want me to work here, that's the conditions. So if you get a job, I guarantee you this, if you are married and your anniversary comes up and you don't do something for that anniversary and you tell your wife, women are more sensitive about this than men, you tell your wife, oh, I can't be there because I have to work an extra shift, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Believe me, Mom, John, you're not even married yet. You're going to be in trouble. They're not going to accept that. So our excuses that we use are really not excuses. Because our thing should be on Sunday to go to church. Not just to be at the church. This morning, I want to explain to you what happened. Because I know that there are some people that think, oh, God, he's a fanatic. I am. I'm a fanatic. I live for the liturgy. And because of my Mediterranean background, people crossing their legs in church, especially towards the altar, absolutely drives me bonkers. I'm not trying to make anything better, and I do understand that people come someplace strange, they don't know what's going on, they may not know what etiquette. I understand that. But if you see everybody else standing, hello, it should tell you, hey, I should stand. Okay? But when you're sitting there with your leg crossed towards the altar, you have no idea that that's insulting to God. You don't know. Right? And because it was agitating me, and I'm really into the liturgy, I'm deeply into the liturgy, my mind, my soul, my spirit is into the liturgy. So when something is agitating me, it's going to throw you off. And I know the devil will do that because he wants to throw you off. So I asked the subdeacon to go out and ask the person to please uncross your legs, which they did. Okay? They're still sitting. When I said about the standing, Dimitri and his mother, is your mom? Yeah. And who was that? Was that your aunt that was here? Yeah. And she was going like this. I said, we're supposed to be standing. She's going, Aristoteles, Constantine, Evgenia, they know that in Russia or Ukraine, you stand the whole time, all right? Your mother would sit, because she's an older lady. I got that. You stand. So, sitting is a condescension to the people who say, okay, hold on, let them sit down, they're tired. But sitting is not the proper position for worshiping God. You would not, I guarantee you, that if you got invited to the White House, and the president, whoever the president would come into the room, and everybody stood up, you would stand up. Even if you were the other party, you would stand up out of respect for that office of that person. So when people are sitting, okay, it's improper. But they don't know, I understand that. But if you come to church a few Sundays, you hear at the end, you're sitting, stand, you should know better. The point now is, are there excuses? Yes, there are. Some people cannot stand up. They have a physical ailment. We understand that. No, I'm not talking about that at all. But what I'm getting at is that why is sitting not the best position, and why is crossing your legs not the best position? Because what are you doing when you sit? Let me ask you, James. I know I'm hard to pass on. We still have James, you're sitting, you got the legs crossed. Could somebody say that you're relaxing? You don't need to relax. You're here to worship God. We don't want to say anything, because in America today, we don't want to say anything that gets anybody to feel bad, right? We're all politically correct. There's a difference between purposely hurting a person's feelings and insulting them and correcting people, because why we are where we are today in America, and God, because our children. Because our children don't know respect, they don't know etiquette, they don't know the proper way of doing things. They don't. It's because their parents and society has not trained them and raised them properly. My children, and my oldest is 47, after the youngest is 37, they know proper respect because they were taught it. But today, we don't want to say anything, because if we say something, we might upset someone. Some might say, well, Father John, you know, if you say something like that, they won't come back. But the people that are here will be here because of the right reasons, and they will be here to worship God, and they will receive from God. They will receive from God that blessing, that love, because they showed that respect to God. So the excuse of, well, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm older than almost everybody in this room. But that does not excuse me from doing the right thing. I don't sit during the liturgy. If I take a break, I may go sit down because my back's up, but I get up right away when I have to. So what I'm getting at is the excuses are not, they may be acceptable to society, they're not acceptable to God. Goes on and says in verse 22, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in here the poor and the maimed and the lame and the blind. اخرج أجيلا شوارعه المدينة وزكاتها وادخل إليها المساكين الجدة والأرجى والأمية. For 11 and a half years, we physically did this. We held street feedings behind this church for 11 and a half years, 6 days, originally 7. To 6 days a week. And now we are doing it with love by strongly encouraging the spiritually poor, hurt, crippled, and nearsighted to come to church, as Holy Orthodox Church. Nearsighted. Let me see. Suzanne, you're an educated woman. Can you give us a simple definition of nearsightedness? What does nearsighted mean? Right. Oh, man. Nearsighted. It means you've got to get close because you can't see it. So how do people that are far away physically, spiritually, and mentally from God, how can they see the church? They can't see it. They have to get closer to it. Our job is bringing people into the church, but when the people come to church, they have to come with the right attitude. I guarantee you, let's go back for moments of standing. I guarantee you that almost everybody in this room, if we said the Pledge of Allegiance or sang the national anthem, and if somebody didn't get up, somebody would go and tell them, you need to get up. We had this whole controversy in football because some NFL players would not stand up, whatever reason I'm not going to get into, they would not stand up at the Star Spangled Banner. Now what we need in this church is we do not have enough people that will be ushers. We need you faithful that when someone comes in here and is not standing, to go and say to them, would you please stand up? They're not going to pull out a 45 automatic and shoot you. Okay? They don't know. That's showing and telling and explaining to people what the proper thing to do is. So when we talk about the nearsighted and our mission, for those of you that are not here that often, our mission now is to become missionaries to Orange area. Our mission area is Orange Avenue on Friday and Saturday nights. It's not South America, it's not Central America, it's not going off to Afghanistan. You have to go just 2 blocks. And you're going to hear more about this. This is now the mission of this church, to go up on Orange Avenue on Friday and Saturday nights to seek out those who are lost, those who are lame, those who are blind, those who are hurt. Up there looking for something that is the wrong thing to be looking for, and to be there for them, that when we see them, they know that they can come and talk to us because we want their lives to be more fulfilled in Jesus Christ. And finally it says in verse 24, "For I say to you that none of those men who were invited shall taste of my supper. لأني أقول لكم إنه ليس واحد من أولئك الرجال المدعوين يذوق الشر." God's plan, this is from the study Bible. God's plan is to fill his banquet of love and righteousness. That even with refusals, his plan is to fill his house, the church, and it will not be frustrated. That's what we've been doing for 48 years, trying to fill the house of the Lord. This is God's plan. We had a man here today, I recognized him, I knew I saw his face, and I asked him who he was. He said, "I met you at a city interfaith thing, whatever it was." Our purpose in being here is to fulfill this banquet. Because all of us, at times in our life, all of us have been poor, hurt, crippled, and blind. Our job, your job, not just my job, our job together is to fulfill and to fill the banquet hall, which is this church, with those people that are hungry, even if they don't know they're hungry. One last question. Bill Moore was so kind to video this every week. To your knowledge, is there any nutritional benefit out of fast food?
No, but I know of, no.
Millions of people in this country, and not only here. You know, some of you know, I like to go to France every year. The French are aghast at the fact that McDonald's even exists in France. This is a country where they have gourmet food. These people really know how to cook and to eat. I like that. McDonald's. McDonald's. I baptized this in the end. Really large people. I was in Versailles. I was hungry. Not Versailles, and I was looking at, if you go in, go to Europe, if you want to use the restroom, they won't let you use it unless you want to. Except if you go to McDonald's and you can't do it. So I said to this guy, "Oh, wait, where is it?" I said, "Oh, wait, McDonald's." I said, McDonald's. McDonald's? Hey, you! Because I didn't mispronounce it the way he did. He knew it was McDonald's. So my point is that here they have all this gourmet food. Here we have more food in America. Now they're tearing down rainforests for every other reason, but for years we were having rainforests dug up all over South America and Africa and other countries so that we could grow more food to fill the American people with more junk food, and yet we are nutritionally deprived. So people will eat something and they'll take it and say, "Well, it's convenient, it's here, it's there." But the fact is, the real food that's nutritious, that's going to help you, that's going to get your body to do what you want to do, that's going to keep you young, that's going to keep you going. The real food is what you need to be eating. You understand it physically. This is spiritual. This is the real food that will give you that real life and that fulfillment in Jesus Christ. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let us pray to the Lord.